Yo, what is up guys, Ghost here, welcome back to another video. So in this one here, to my utter surprise, DICE have actually dropped a new limited time game mode for Battlefield 2042. Just as we thought this was going to be the end of the road, they've surprised us with, well, probably a game mode that I don't think any of us really expected. Not only that, but I've also recently learnt that there is going to be another patch coming to Battlefield 2042 in the future. Not sure if this is going to be a full update 7.4, as 7.3 was the last update, but there are definitely some changes coming, and I want to detail a couple of those that I've heard about on the grapevine for you guys here today. But before we begin, as always, if you do enjoy the content here on the channel, guys, hit up that subscribe button. I'm going to do my absolute best to tide us over with Battlefield content for the foreseeable future until we start getting information about the new game. And like I said, there are some little tidbits coming for Battlefield 2042 here and there. And so, of course, I will also be covering all of those. Over 60% of you guys who watch my videos are not currently subscribed. So if you guys can go and check down below, you may just be getting these in your recommended section. Do me a favor, go check if you're subscribed and maybe hit that button up if you're not. And as always, guys, thank you for your support. So let's just jump straight into it here, shall we? This is the trailer for the new game mode. It's called Outbreak, and you're going to have to excuse the aspect ratio, by the way. This was only posted to Twitter, not quite sure why, but it is what it is, so the quality is not great either. But as you can see, this is a crossover between Battlefield and Dead Space. Now, this is actually hilarious to me, because for those of you who've been around on the channel for a substantial amount of time, you may remember back in 2023, on the 1st of April, April Fool's Day, I actually did an April Fool's about a crossover between Dead Space and Battlefield. I just never expected it would actually come true. Who knows, maybe DICE even got this idea from me. So this is either going to be an extraction mode or a zombies mode, most likely a mixture of the two. You'll see that they use the words here, survive, contain, and extract. So there must be a way that you get out of there. It definitely has an extraction element to it, but it mainly looks like a zombies mode here. Of course, we're back on Redacted. We're back with these synthetic soldiers that we saw in one of the past time-limited games once the one where Redacted was released. Now, normally, I'm not one to get too excited about time-limited games. They come and they go, and this one isn't going to be any different. It's going to be from the 9th of July until the 16th. I'm also not really big into cosmetics either, but I have to say, this Dead Space skin here with the helmet and the battle suit, I forget what it's called, but you get multiple of them in the Dead Space game. And I did play the Dead Space remake a couple of years ago. It was absolutely fantastic, highly recommended. I absolutely have to have that skin. Like, I don't know, it just looks so cool. I'm fully expecting it to be a legendary skin, so it probably is going to be one that you have to fork out and buy, because you can tell from the trailer they're absolutely putting this front and center to incentivize sales, I guess. But my god, does it look cool. Now, the game mode itself is also kind of interesting, though, because I can only assume it's not going to be a PvP game mode. It seems very much to be a cooperative mode here. It looks like it's a team of players against AI opponents, these synthetic soldiers. But since there is clearly an extraction component to this mode, I suppose the obvious question is, what are we going to be extracting with? There's got to be some sort of resource that we're trying to gain, or do we just go in there and kill as many enemies as possible and then extract and use score points for killing enemies? I expect we're going to hear some more information about this over the next couple of days. Like I said, it is releasing on the 9th of July, which is just next Tuesday. So that'll certainly be interesting. I know this game mode probably isn't for everyone. It likely seesaws on whether you're the kind of person who enjoys playing game modes like Call of Duty Zombies. I have never really played zombies, but my son, for example, he absolutely loves zombies, and he plays it all the time. In fact, he only plays zombies, whereas I'm totally the opposite. I'm more of like a PvP player, so who knows, this may be something that excites a lot of players. On the other hand, if you're a Battlefield player through and through, it may not be the most exciting prospect to you. Now, as I mentioned earlier, it does look like we are going to be getting another update for Battlefield 2042 in the foreseeable future. It may be coming next Tuesday with this new game mode, possibly later than that. So I was talking to Eddie, the lead vehicles designer, because many of you guys will know, the new stealth bomber, or the Draugr, has recently seen several changes in 7.3, and one of the changes I've always wanted to see to it is that they swap around the countermeasures. So lately, they've changed the DRFM jammer to basically act to work against vehicle lock-ons and infantry lock-ons as well, although it won't work if they've already fired the missile. However, one of the issues for me is that unlike the flares and all of the other countermeasures for every other vehicle in the game, those are generally on the X key on your keyboard if you're playing on PC, but this jammer for the Draugr is on the G key, which for me at least, when I've got my thumb on the spacebar, which I like to use to pitch up, moving over with my index finger and hitting the G key to hit those countermeasures is quite a challenge, especially when you have a wildcat trying to lock you on, and the lock-on time of the missiles from that thing is lightning fast. And I can only assume that the same is true for console players. Whatever button you use for your countermeasure or for your second equipment slot, those are going to be switched around for the Draugr. So I hit up Eddie and I asked if there's any chance that they can switch these around. It would just make much more sense in my mind, and there's no real drawback for them doing this. And to my delight, he actually replied and said, yep, it's coming in the next patch. So first of all, awesome that that change is coming. But second of all, also great that there's going to be another patch. Obviously, I can't tell you guys how many changes are going to be in that patch. It might be a large patch, it may be the last patch, it may not be, it might be a tiny patch with a few tweaks here and there, and one of these Draugr changes just happens to be one of them. But nevertheless, it's always nice to see a few more tweaks coming to the game. Oh, by the way, guys, as a final note in this video, if you weren't aware, the Steam Summer Sale is currently going on at the moment, so beware of your wallets, but the Battlefield franchise is on sale as well. So you can actually pick up Battlefield 2042 for $5.99, that's US dollars for me, or your regional equivalent. This is, I believe, the cheapest that Battlefield 2042 has ever been, and at that point, you really can't go wrong. A lot of people ask me, Ghost, is it worth buying Battlefield 2042 now? Is it good enough? Is it worth $6? I would absolutely say yes. I mean, what is that, like a cup of coffee? You know, it's you can't really go wrong for that, and even if you do, you still got 2 hours to play the game and then refund it if you don't enjoy it. Aside from that, though, all of the other Battlefield games are also on sale, so Battlefield 5 is $3.50, Battlefield 1 is $2.79, so is Battlefield 4, and strangely, Battlefield 3 is $3.99. I don't know why it's more than Battlefield 4, because there's like way less servers and stuff. That doesn't make a lot of sense. But anyway, if you guys are missing some of the Battlefield games, or you just want to own them on Steam instead of the EA app, then now's a good time to buy them. The next video I'm going to be putting out is probably a revisiting of Grey Zone Warfare. I was playing quite a lot of that game in early access. I've since stepped away from it for a number of reasons, but recently there have been a couple of new patches that I've maybe want to pick it back up again and give it another try. Definitely some great quality of life changes, so I'm going to be taking a look into that. But as always, leave me your thoughts down below. Let me know what you think of the game mode. Let me know what you think of the changes coming to the Draugr. Take it easy, guys, and I'll see you all in the next video.